our last session, we have seen types of belt drive. In today's session, we will see types of gear drives and velocity ratio for a gear drive. This is Faizan Kagdi and I welcome you all to our lecture series of Basic Mechanical Engineering. So let's begin. So first is types of gears. In that, first type is called a spur gear. So as you can see the diagram of a gear. Now, what are the characteristics of this gear? So we would say that if teeth of the gear wheels are parallel to the axis of a shaft, or we can say axis of a wheel, then such gear is called spur gear. They are commonly used in machine tools and automobile gearbox. Now, the main problem is that when we use this type of gearbox at a high speed, it creates much amount of noise. So to avoid this limitation of spur gear, we are going to use a helical gear. Now how it looks? So as you can see the diagram of a helical gear. Okay. Now in this type of gear, you can clearly see that the teeth are cut at certain angle with the axis of a shaft or axis of a wheel. It is similar to a spur gear, but teeth are cut in a form of helix around the gear. Their teeth are not parallel to the axis of a shaft. Okay, it is making certain angle with the axis of a shaft, and that angle which this teeth makes is called a helix angle. Okay, so we would say that two moving helical gears have a identical helix angle but on opposite ends. They are commonly used in automobile transmission system. Now, the benefit of this gear is that it works smoothly and quietly even at a high speed. Okay, at high RPM we can use this type of a gear. Now next type of a gear is called a spiral gear. The teeth of a spiral gear are same as a helical gears and it is cut along the helical path. In spiral gear there is a point contact while there is a curvilinear contact in case of a helical gear drive. Now they are used to transmit power between two non-parallel, non-intersecting shafts. So as you can clearly see in this diagram that the teeth are cut in a curved form and are at certain angle to the axis of a shaft. And when it can be used, what is the application of this gear? So we would say that when two shafts are non-parallel and non-intersecting, okay, which means two shafts are at certain angle. It could be at right angle or it could be at any angle. Okay, so when this arrangement is required, so we are going to use a spiral gear. Another important characteristic is that there will be a point contact between two meshing gears. Remember that. Okay. Next type of a gear is called a bevel gears. Now let's see that. So the teeth of bevel gears are cut on a conical surface. In most of the cases, two bevel gears have their axis at right angle, and if both the gears are of equal size, then such gears are called meter gears. So in most of the cases, size of both the gears are same, and such gears will be called as a meter gears. Now as you can see the diagram, in this case teeth are cut on a conical surface of a gear disc or a conical disc we can say. Okay, and where it can be used? So when it is required to transmit power between two perpendicular shafts, that is shaft at right angle. Now what is an application? So we can say that this type of a gear is used in a differential of an automobile, that is four-wheeler cars, and even in our trucks and buses. You can you know the differential which is provided on back side on a rear wheel. Okay, in that differential the arrangement is of a bevel gear in which we need to transmit a power perpendicular to the driving shaft. Okay, now let's see the next type of a gear, that is called a worm and worm wheel. Okay, now a worm gear drive consists of a worm and a worm wheel. A worm has one or more number of helical threads or of a trapezoidal shape cut on it. A worm wheel is a gear wheel with a tooth profile consists of a small segment of helix which engage with the worm. So as you can see on your screen, a diagram is displayed. Now the worm is basically a screw type, a thread is formed, trapezoidal thread is formed, whereas a worm wheel is a gear. Spur gear is called a worm wheel in this case. Now as you can clearly see, this gear can be used when two shafts, that is a driving shaft and driven shaft, are perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular and non-intersecting. In that case, we are going to use worm and worm wheel. Another most important characteristic is that it can be used for high speed reduction. Okay, high speed reduction ratio can be obtained by this arrangement. Now question comes at how. So in most of the cases, the worm is connected with the electric motor which is rotating at a high speed, and when it is required to step down a speed at a much lower rate, for example a speed of electric motor is of a 2000 rpm, so worm will rotate at a 2000 rpm, and power required at a machine shaft is 10 times lesser, that is 200 rpm is required. So in that case, when a worm is going to perform 2000 revolution in 1 minute, at that time worm will perform 200 revolutions in 1 minute. So this is a much more difference. You can see a 10 times reduction in the speed we can achieve by using this arrangement. Now why it is called a worm? So when you look at a rotational motion of a worm, then you will see that it looks like a earthworm is moving. Okay, so because of that, the arrangement name is given as worm and worm wheel. It is very simple. Okay, now let's see a next type. That is called a rack and pinion arrangement. Now, rack is a rectangular bar consists of a series of straight teeth cut on it. The rack is in mesh with another small gear known as pinion. Now, what is the purpose of using this arrangement? You can clearly see a straight series of spur gear is shown. That is called an infinite spur gear. And another is a pinion which is rotating on a rack. So what is the purpose? So we would say that it is going to convert a rotary motion into a reciprocating motion. It is usually required in case of machine tools such as lathe machine, drilling machine and planing machine. Remember, the function of rack and pinion is to convert rotary motion of a machine into a reciprocating motion. Now let us see the velocity ratio of gear drives. So as we know the definition of gear drive, it is a ratio of speed of driving gear to the speed of driven gear. So VR is equal to N1 by N2. Similarly, we can derive the equation for our gear drives. Assuming if there is no slip between a pitched cylinder of two gear wheels, then we can write pi d1 N1 is equal to pi d2 N2. From this equation, we can write N1 by N2 is equal to d2 by d1, where velocity ratio N1 by N2 is equal to d2 by d1 is the final equation. So this velocity ratio is in terms of ratio of diameters. Okay. The circular pitch for both the meshing gears remains the same. So we can say that circular pitch is denoted by PC, which is equal to pi d1 by t1, which is equal to pi d2 by t2. So from this equation we get d2 by d1 is equal to d2 by t1. Now further we can write this velocity ratio in a form of ratio of number of ticks. So n1 by n2 is equal to d2 by d1 is equal to d2 by d1. Now next drive which we need to see is a chain drive. So a chain drive are a positive drives. There is no slip and hence the velocity ratio will remain. They are suitable for small center distance and it can be used up to 3 meter distance when there is a 3 meter distance between driving and a driven shaft. Chain drive are used for power transmission in bicycles, motorcycles, rolling mills, agriculture machineries, machine tools, conveyors, etc. So these are the most important application of chain drive. Remember that. Okay. A chain drive consists of two main elements, that is chain and sprocket. Now in this arrangement there will be two sprockets and one chain provided. So you have seen the arrangement of chain drive in case of a bicycles. A pedal side is a bigger sprocket and on a wheel side there is a smaller sprocket. So it is very clear that when a pedal side is rotating at a lower speed, so a speed increment takes place on a wheel side because of a smaller sprocket. The same concept as we have used in our belt drive. Right, similar case is applied to our gear drive. If a smaller gear is a driving gear and a bigger one is a driven gear, so we would say that in that case speed reduction is going to take place. Okay, the velocity ratio of a chain drive is, say, in a similar way we can obtain velocity ratio is equal to N1 by N2, which is equal to T2 by T1. Okay guys, so this is it for today's session. We will meet in the next session. Till then, stay tuned and thank you all.